What is going on, my fellow weebs? So 2024 has been a pretty banging year for anime so far. From new series and adaptations like Solo Leveling to old favorites like the newest season of Demon Slayer and what might be my favorite anime so far of 2024, Kaiju 8. But we are just getting warmed up as far as like anime goes for 2024, as the newest crop of seasonal anime is now upon us, and man, is it filled with some absolute bangers. Hello everyone, I'm Finn. Welcome back to finnfilms. Join me today as I discuss some of the hottest new upcoming seasonal anime for fall 2024. From the second season of Blue Lock, a new spooky adaptation of Junji Ito's Uzumaki, to the last piece of anime that Akira Toriyama worked on, a new Dragon Ball series. Okay, so we are starting things off with an anime that I have been looking forward to all year, and that is the second season of Blue Lock, the sports anime, Blue Lock vs. U20 Japan. Blue Lock is a sports shonen anime about football, aka soccer for my American friends out there, and so far, I think that it has to go up there with like some of the best sports anime of all time. I'm talking up there with the likes of like Ping Pong and Haikyuu. Blue Lock is like if you took the insanity of a show like Squid Game and then you combined it with a sports anime like Slam Dunk, and then you gave it insane animations on par with the likes of JJK and Demon Slayer. Blue Lock, as I said, is a soccer or football anime that follows the story of Yoichi Isagi and a number of other of the most talented young attacking Japanese soccer players in the country, as they attempt to become the best striker in all of Japan in the Blue Lock project. Blue Lock being an insane kind of Squid Game-like plan developed by the character Eigo Jinpachi in order to create and develop the best new crop of young strikers in Japan in order to eventually lead Japan to World Cup glory. And man, this anime fucking slaps. For real, even if you don't like soccer or you don't even like sports at all, in general, this anime is just goddamn great. One of my favorite things about sports anime, especially good sports anime like Hajime no Ippo, for example, is that you can really tell the author of the manga really does like enjoy and understand this sport and all of the like minutia in dynamics, and they're able to break it down in such a way that it's just like completely, absolutely fascinating to watch to me. Like, you could know absolutely nothing about soccer at all, but you can just watch the first season of Blue Lock and it would teach you basically everything that you need to know, plus a really number of like other really interesting and intricate details about like soccer, the techniques around soccer, the different styles of play, all of this stuff together, and you could emerge from watching the first season of Blue Lock as being someone with a really like complicated and in-depth knowledge of the sport as a whole. This anime also has like one of the dopest art styles of like any anime I've seen in like a long time. It's animated by Studio 8, who are probably most famous for The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime anime, but they absolutely nail the animations in this anime, and I think that they're really able to capture the like beautiful and dramatic art style of this manga, which is something that I'm just absolutely obsessed with. Please, I beg of you, go and watch this anime. Even if you couldn't give a shit at all about sports, I promise you that you will enjoy Blue Lock as an anime, as a piece of media, and who knows, it might even turn you into a football fan. Moving on, I want to touch on a new anime debuting on October 4th, a supernatural comedy anime called Dandadan. I think I said that right. Dandadan tells the story of two school kids who become friends and bond over their belief in strange supernatural events. Specifically, one kid believes in ghosts while the other kid believes in aliens. In a bet to determine who is actually correct, do ghosts exist or do aliens exist, these two kids venture out into Japan to try to discover proof for aliens and ghosts respectively. They both return though to discover that both aliens and ghosts do exist, as the two together then go on an epic adventure encountering all sorts of like strange supernatural phenomena. This anime is made by Studio Science Saru, who is probably most famous for the anime Devilman Crybaby, as well as creating one of the episodes for Star Wars Visions. And honestly, to me, this just sounds like a really fun, goofy, quirky anime. I love this like idea for a plot, this like two kids who are bullied and become friends and bond over like their belief in like weird supernatural events, having a kind of rivalry about these supernatural like beliefs, only to find out that they're both actually correct. Aliens and ghosts do exist. It just sounds like a kind of really funny, wholesome anime to me, and I'm always down to give like new comedy anime a shot, as I do think that there really has been a kind of lack of like comedy anime nowadays. Obviously you have the likes of like Spy Family, there are a number of other like notable like comedy anime, but I really do think that in general the comedy kind of genre of anime is lacking, so I'm always down to check out a new comedy anime whenever I see one coming out that looks interesting. Shifting gears, I want to quickly talk about a new Netflix original anime that's coming out in October, Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. One, it's Gundam. I mean, who doesn't like Gundam? I remember the first time I saw Gundam as a kid on like Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, and it absolutely blew my little mind. I'm talking that shining finger sword.
My love, my anger, and all of my sorrow! Shining Finger Sword!
2, this anime has a wild animation art style. Apparently, this anime is being made in Unreal Engine 5, you know, the game designing engine, which is an interesting choice to say the least. There's a really good chance that this anime might turn out to be pretty mid, might even turn out to be bad, but I have to say that I am intrigued at the very least by their choice to use Unreal Engine instead of like a kind of traditional anime studio anime art style, and I have to give it to Netflix. I mean, they have like been pretty on point over the last few years in their choices for anime originals. So I definitely am going to be giving this new Gundam anime a chance at the very least, as there hasn't really been too many major like Netflix original anime flops that I can think of over the last couple of years. So I will at the very least be giving it a chance. But honestly, who knows? Sticking with Netflix, we can't talk about like a new highly anticipated piece of animated work without mentioning the second season of Arcane, the League of Legends animated show. Okay, yes, I know this isn't technically an anime, but I had to touch on this show because like, holy shit, is it amazing. If you would have told me like years ago that a League of Legends anime, a League of Legends Western animated work was going to turn out as well as Arcane Season 1 did, I would not have believed you. Like, no way in hell, no chance. But wow, have they absolutely nailed this show, and it has turned into an absolutely like worldwide phenomenon. I mean, surely I don't need to explain Arcane to you. It's like one of the most popular Western animated shows I think of all time, especially to come out in like the last like 5-6 years, and for really good reason, because it is just absolutely stunning all the way around. From its story to its music, the performance of the voice actors, the amazing animations in this show. I mean, Arcane literally has it all, and I can't wait to see how it comes to an end in Season 2, as yes, from everything that I have read and looked at so far, Season 2 of Arcane will be the final season of Arcane, which to me is a shame. If you ask me, I do hope that Riot Games does continue to make other animated works in the future, as Arcane turned out like way better than it had any right to, way better than I think anyone truly would have expected a League of Legends animated work to turn out. So I do hope that Riot Games won't be giving up on like other animated works in the future, as I do think that they have the potential to create some really stunning pieces of media in the future, but I guess only time will tell. As well, I want to talk about one more piece of upcoming Western animated series before we return back to fall anime of 2024, and that is the third season of Legend of Vox Machina that is coming out on Amazon Prime this October. Legend of Vox Machina is a fantasy animated series that was adapted from Critical Role Campaign 1, what is arguably the biggest and most popular Dungeons & Dragons live streaming series and group of content creators. This show is absolutely fantastic. Even if you don't care at all about Dungeons & Dragons or Critical Role, I do highly recommend giving this show a watch. It's got all of the things that you would want from an animated show. Amazing music, a really compelling adult story. It's got comedy, it's got drama, it's got action, everything that you would want, and it's all wrapped up in an absolutely amazing animation art style done by the studio Titmouse, the studio behind the Avatar: The Last Airbender show. arguably one of the greatest pieces of like Western animation ever. Fun fact, this show is actually crowdfunded by the Critical Role fanbase, the Critical Role audience, in order to create a one-off episode, but they raised so much money that they actually ended up doing its own series, combining with Amazon to make this show, and now they're on the 3rd season of this show, and it doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon, and I have to say it is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, I am a little bit biased because I am a Critical Role in Dungeons & Dragons fan, but I have to say that this show is just an amazing piece of like fantasy animation and media, and it really does make me happy to see like new Western animated works that are able to keep up with like the amazing anime and animated works coming out of Japan. So I do recommend giving Legend of Vox Machina a shot if you have not already. I promise you, I don't think that you will regret it. Shifting back to anime though, we couldn't talk about like new fall 2024 anime without discussing the 3rd season of Re:Zero. Re:Zero is probably the most popular isekai anime ever, maybe outside of like Sword Art Online and like Konosuba, a few others. If you guys have watched any of my anime content over the last couple of years, you know that I am absolutely sick of the isekai genre. It's just so oversaturated, and it doesn't seem like it's really going away anytime soon, which does pain me to say. But still, that being said, there are a few good isekai anime out there, and Re:Zero is one of them. I mean, if you're an anime fan, if you're a weeb, you probably are familiar with Re:Zero. At the very least, you are aware of Re:Zero. If somehow you aren't, then like, you know, this is like the quintessential like isekai, I guess, show, again, outside of like the likes of Konosuba. Re:Zero is animated by Studio White Fox, who are famous for bangers like Steins Gate as well as Akame ga Kill. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's Re:Zero. It's a super popular show, and it's popular for a reason because it is pretty damn good. So I have a feeling that the 3rd season, the 3rd edition of Re:Zero, will probably also continue to be good. As October is Halloween, it is a spooky season, you know we had to talk about a horror anime, and lucky for us, we have an absolute banger horror anime that is coming out in October from the mind of the horror genius himself, Junji Ito, the animated adaptation of his manga, Uzumaki. Now, for my Junji Ito fans out there, the last time we saw a Junji Ito animated work, it did not go as well as I think a lot of people hoped in the Junji Ito like anthology horror series that was done by Netflix. Personally, I didn't mind Netflix's Junji Ito horror collection that much. I do think that a lot of the like criticism from the fan base was pretty valid, but at the end of the day, I do think that they do a more than acceptable job adapting his like mini short story, you know, kind of horror works. This time though, I do think it is going to be different, as Uzumaki is being adapted and done by one of my favorite animation studios, Studio Drive, most famous for Konosuba, and they are teaming up with Production IG, the producers behind works such as Attack on Titan, Vinland Saga, Psycho Pass, some of my favorite anime out there, to adapt one of Junji Ito's most popular works of horror manga out there, Uzumaki. If somehow you are unaware, Junji Ito is like one of Japan's horror geniuses. This guy has an absolutely brilliant mind for horror, specifically body horror. He's able to create these absolutely stunning, insane works of like art that just like are just all sorts of like crazy up and just really boggle the mind. There is a reason why he is considered like Japan's horror genius, and it is because of works like Uzumaki and works like this. Uzumaki specifically tells the story of a strange town that has become obsessed with spirals, specifically spiraling the town into madness, no pun intended. This might be the anime that I am most looking forward to this year. Junji Ito has a massive cult following. I'm a massive fan of Junji Ito, and Uzumaki specifically is like one of his most popular works of manga, so you know that I will be binging this animated work as soon as it releases in early October, and that Junji Ito and horror fans all around the world are waiting patiently to see just if they are able to get this work right, because let me tell you, man, Junji Ito fans are absolutely diehard, so they are going to be picking this anime to pieces, so they better live up to the expectations of the fan base, and I have a feeling that they probably will. Moving on, though, to our final two anime that I'm going to be discussing in this video, two absolute shonen classics, the first being Bleach, specifically the third part of Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War. Can you believe that the first episode of Bleach debuted in 2004, and now 20 years later, this anime is still ongoing? Now, I have to say that I'm not the biggest Bleach fan in the world, but it is undeniable how popular that Bleach is as an anime series. I mean, an anime does not stay on the air for 20 years without it being insanely popular and pretty good, and Bleach is arguably like the most popular work of like shonen anime ever. It's right up there with the likes of like One Piece, Hunter x Hunter. So of course there's going to be massive hype around a new Bleach anime release. Again, Bleach is extremely popular for a reason. There's a reason why this this manga is still ongoing to this day. So, fans of Bleach around the world are going to be rejoicing with the third edition of Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War. The final anime I'm going to be discussing on this video, the final anime of fall 2024 I want to talk about, is a very special anime to me, and that is because it is the final project that is done by Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, rest in peace, specifically the series Dragon Ball Daima. Yep, that's right, Dragon Ball is back again and getting a brand new series on October 11th, Dragon Ball Daima. At the time of recording, we don't know a ton about this show. The synopsis says this: specifically, due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends have been turned small once again, and in order to fix things, they are off to a new world. Now, I know some Dragon Ball fans out there are instantly cringing as the last time we saw Goku getting turned back into a child was with Dragon Ball GT, which might be the most controversial, the most hated Dragon Ball series in the franchise to date. Personally, I kind of liked Dragon Ball GT. Again, though, I was a young lad, a kid when that show came out. It does have its flaws, but I mean, some of the fight scenes in Dragon Ball GT were kind of badass, and Super Saiyan 4 was kind of cool in a way, at least to a young, 10-year-old me. I have a feeling, though, that Dragon Ball Daima is not going to be a repeat of the horror show that some fans think Dragon Ball GT was, and if anything, I think Dragon Ball Daima will be more of a return to kind of the lighthearted, fantasy adventure series that was the original Dragon Ball series, as opposed to a new clone of something like Dragon Ball Z. To me, though, I have to say this anime is special because, again, this is the last project that Akira Toriyama was a part of, was involved with, before his very untimely passing earlier this year. Again, rest in peace, the GOAT. And to me, the fact that he was so hands-on in this project does give me hope that this anime will actually be pretty good. Again, at the time of recording, a lot really isn't known about Dragon Ball Daima and what exactly the story is going to be, but there is a trailer out there. Irregardless, to me, this anime, I think, is going to hold a special place in my heart, as Akira Toriyama and his media, his works, had a pretty major impact on me and my childhood, along with millions of other people around the world, and I do hope for his sake that they don't botch this anime, but I do have high hopes that this will be a good show, and most likely a return to the more kind of lighthearted adventure-like series that is the original Dragon Ball series, probably minus a lot of the inappropriate jokes.
Just give me a little kiss, baby! Right here! Right on the kisser!
And yes, this was my list of anime to watch for fall 2024. Let me know in the comment section down below other anime that I should, as well as the other people in the audience, should check out this fall, as I'm sure there's plenty of other shows that I know I would be interested in, but we only have so much time in this video, so I couldn't cover them all. As always, guys, if you did enjoy this video, learn something new, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as that is the easiest way to help support me, and it really does go a long way in putting this video into the algorithm. I think it helps way more than you guys actually realize. If you did enjoy this video, then why don't you check out some of my other anime content on screen now. As always, guys, thank you again so much for continuing to support me. I hope to see you in the next video. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, adieu.